Hello and happy Sunday. It's another Cooking with Nina class, and we got our special guest star today, Michael Bolton. In case you haven't seen, we're out of quarantine and I decided to give myself, not myself, but I had my friend style my hair and we did a little poodle cut, which I'm very into. I'm going back to what my mom used to style my hair back when I was like, what, 7, 8 years old? Mama. Never mind. Anyway, welcome to the class. This week we're making Bulgarian style moussaka. You've probably ordered moussaka before either here at Forte or at your favorite Greek restaurant. It's, I think, more commonly known in Greek Mediterranean cuisine. This is a very simple recipe. I think in Greek moussaka you add eggplant and some other things, but this is a super light, fresh dish that you can really eat all year round. And thank you everybody who's continuing to do this class with us every Sunday. Thank you Jolene, Secret Burger. All of our tickets are being sold through this platform, as well as other amazing chefs jumping on, and now we're actually able to do in-house events as well. The restaurant is open. We just opened last Thursday, so we're about a week and a half in, and that's a lot to celebrate for. So thank you to everybody that's come in to the restaurant. I have to say that we probably have some of the most amazing customers. Everybody's been so considerate, and we've been really adamant about doing the social distancing and capping off reservations when we're at capacity, and trying to be as safe and conscious as possible as we welcome our guests in. And also, what I've noticed is that we've been getting a lot of new people that never been to Forte before, which is amazing. So, fresh new start for our summertime. Let me see. Oh, and Martin. Hello, Martin. And that's interesting. Good. So, I don't know if your Nana shared the recipe, but we're going to do another variation. And I wanted to touch on, Martin, next week is my birthday. My birthday is on June 7th, but I was very happy when I received this in the mail. So thank you, Martin. Thank you, Radosveta. They're up in Canada, and they sent me a really, really nice birthday card, the great sticker. So I wish I had a cooler car so I can put this on the car, but yeah, I don't know how well it's going to decorate my Nissan mini cargo van, but I'll put it somewhere else in the restaurant. Thank you very much. You guys are very, very thoughtful. And I have your address, so be expecting something coming your way as soon as it's able to get up there to you. So we have some people jumping on. Feel free to ask any questions if you have any so far. And again, thank you to the amazing people from Event Capture. They are here every single Sunday helping us make these shows amazing and as easy as possible to tune in. So big thanks to them, and you guys should check them out if you ever need anything for streaming or filming, etc. They're the ones to go to. Okay, so we'll jump in. A lot of you got the wine. I'm gonna make myself a cocktail right now. You've been probably seeing it up on Instagram and Facebook. It's one of my favorite cocktails. I had this when I was in Spain, but in Spain it's a little bit of a different variation. It's called a Spanish lemonade. Here we're calling it the Riviera Limonata. So it's kind of a take on like a frozen drink, but we're gonna do it with some champagne. I have my mango sorbet. And then to garnish it, some candied ginger and a lime wedge or lime wheel. But I'm going to start with that just so you guys can see it. But this is a great, great cocktail for the summertime. So this is one of the drinks that I put it on special this weekend along with our frosé, and it's been super, super popular. And so we're going to keep continuing to serve this over here at Forte. And what happens is, I don't know how good this is for any diet that you're trying to keep, but oh well. Well, this summer's all about personality anyway. And a little champagne because we're celebrating. So we're celebrating summer, we're celebrating Forte's opening, we're celebrating all these other restaurants opening, coming up. I know the one everybody's waiting for is Brian from Sparrow and Wolf. I am definitely excited about that. That's one of my favorite places to eat at. And then Bryce from DW as well. Can't wait for his place to open back up so that I can have a proper brunch somewhere. And put our little lime wheel. And it ends up being such a nice little summer cocktail. And then when you mix it all together, it ends up being this fizzy, slushy sort of cocktail. I did try this with a little gin inside, so that adds a nice little flavor and boost of the booze. Okay, great, I'm ready now. Okay, so everybody in their kit got this beautiful, beautiful tomato, the field tomatoes, and that's another thing. We're gearing up for another phase of reopening. We have a side space in the restaurant that's going to be our retail shop. So we'll have tomatoes, the ones that we use here, cucumbers, all the fun seasonal produce that we get for ourselves, you'll be able to take home so that you can recreate the kits or cook for yourself. Carrot, big onion, and then some potato, 2 eggs, some fresh parsley, yogurt, and equal parts. I got half a pound of ground pork and half a pound of ground beef. When you combine these together, they add really nice flavor for the moussaka. So first we're gonna start with preheating the oven to 450 degrees, or 450 degrees, and then getting your skillet ready. And then we're gonna peel all of our veggies. Sorry, but I haven't really learned how to make these techniques prettier. We're just gonna go with it. So we're gonna end up chopping all of these into small cubes so that it can all cook together. And then probably the maximum cooking time for everything all together is gonna be about 40 minutes. So it's gonna happen in 2 different processes, and I'll go over that. I'm gonna start with the potato. Probably should have started with the onion. Probably should have peeled it beforehand so you guys don't have to suffer through all this. Anyways. I just like to get all these peeled. Okay. So we have those, and then we have our onion. Okay, So we're going to chop our onion into small pieces. Okay. And I'm going to turn my heat up a little bit here. Whoop. Add a little bit of my finger to the mix. Probably should have cut this beforehand because I probably will start crying. I forgot that I'm very sensitive to the onions. Anyway, we got our onions chopped. Gonna add some oil to our pan. And then we're gonna cook these first. Okay, so while those are cooking, we're going to chop the rest of our ingredients. So I like to cut this in the half, and then we cut it one more time. And the same thing, maybe this side a little bit more, just so we're getting small pieces, and this will help cook everything a lot quicker and all the ingredients to cook kind of at the same time. And then we're cutting into small cubes. And this is easy, classic, Bulgarian style moussaka. And moussaka, what that is, it's basically the closest thing I can compare it to is like a casserole. And there's different styles to make this. You can actually cut the potato into like round pieces and layer it kind of like a lasagna. But this one, we're going to mix everything all together. What kind of music is playing? I don't know. You suggest the music. For me, I don't have anything on here in the background. Samantha, dedicate a song for this Sunday's class. And I put a little potato in there because I didn't want it to be too much potatoes for your pan, just so it kind of all the ingredients are equal. Okay, so we have all of our potato. Move it here to the side. And that's my favorite part, is when the onions start to cook and you get all those smells. So we just want to cook them until they're light brown. and then we'll add the next ingredients. Same thing with our carrot. Give it a nice cut. And you can also cut it one more time because we just want all the pieces to kind of be the same size. And then same thing with that, just small chunks. Okay. And then for our tomato, I like to peel the tomato. This is really nice because these are super, super juicy. I'll take off that skin. And then the tomato also, you can cut it how we're going to cut it into the little pieces, or you can use a grater to kind of get more of the juice out and break it down a little bit. I don't know what Bucks Fizz Band? Okay. Well, you'll have to send me a link to, I'm going to check them out. Okay, so we have our tomato. We're just going to cut our tomato into thin slices. We're going to chop them up. Into little pieces because we want them to break down into the moussaka for our sauce. Probably should have gotten a bigger cutting board. That would have been smart, but we're just going to keep going. Okay. So now our onions are getting nice and brown. So next after this, we're going to add our carrots. Get those cooking in there. That one. Okay. We want to cook them just for a little bit so they start releasing their flavor and soften up. Any questions so far? I don't think we have any questions. We're just going to keep going. Great. Okay. After we got them cooking a little bit, we're going to add our tomato. That's already smelling good, and you'll see after we add our different herbs and seasonings to it, it's going to really get great. Okay. So we're going to let that cook for a little bit. Севиш картофите, нали? The meat is next. So for our meat, we have, like I said, half a pound of the ground pork and then half a pound of ground beef. And we're going to mix those together. In your kits, they're all in the same container, but they're separated. So we're going to mix our meat together. Put my gloves on. Oh, that's great. Perfect. I'm going to make a little space for our meat mixture. And then we're just going to start letting it break down and brown in the mix. Kovikish? Yeah. So it's all looking really good together. So we want the meat to get nice and piecey. Well, let me bring this a little closer to me. And that's great. It's coming together. No, so Samantha, Jem and I, we're not going to put the spices until the end. We just have the meat that went in. We're getting all of that mixed together, broken down. And then we're going to put our potatoes. Okay, so it's getting, yeah, the spices too. Sure, come. So she'll mix that while we get going. So we're gonna add our spices to the mix?
Yeah.
So we have some red pepper, some garden savory, chubrica, a little salt, and pepper. If you want to put a little more, I didn't put that much in it because I don't want to make it too salty for your taste. So you'll be able to try it after. I'll put the. Great. It's getting there. Our little burner's not working amazingly with the heat, but that's why it's taking a little bit long. But yeah, you just want to get everything mixed together really nicely and evenly. Some more salt? Yes.
Okay.
And now we're going to put the potato. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So that's our mix. So everything's really nice and evenly distributed, and now we're going to put it in our pan. And we have one kind of cooking already. It's been, how long has it been cooking for? For like half hour?
For like half an hour.
Okay. So we're going to transfer everything, all of our mixture. Okay. Everyone's on the same page. Put everything into our cooking pan. Turn that off. And then we're just going to spread it in our pan just so you get all the meat, all the veggies kind of evenly distributed and set. And so before we cook it, we're going to add some water. So we just want to cover maybe a little bit more than half of the pan with water so that when it's baking, it kind of boils everything together and brings all the flavors out and it doesn't burn. So I think I'm going to add like maybe a cup of water and we'll see. We don't want to add too much. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. I think that's good. And again, you just kind of want to mix it so you're not getting chunks of potato just in one area. So you have a nice mix of potatoes, carrot, and meat. What do you think? A little more water? So we'll get a little more. Good? I think that's good. Okay. I think I should do the mixture though. For 40 minutes? So this is what it's going to look like before you put it to bake. And then what we do after we bake this for about half an hour. Oh, comment. Samantha, I have plenty of carafes like this, so if you do, it's going to be one of my birthday gifts to you, so don't worry. So to save time for this whole process, I'm going to show you what it's going to look like when it's completed. So this is what it looks like before we put it to bake. We're going to bake it like this for about 30 minutes on that temperature. And then the next part of the process, we have our yogurt. We're going to do something that's called a zalivka. So zalivka means something that you pour over, and this is what's going to finish the product. It's going to add like a nice, fluffy, firm kind of layer to the top. Some people do it with like a bechamel, that sort of thing, but we're gonna do a nice fresh sort of pour over. But I'll go over it because it doesn't have, it's optional if you want to put flour in it to kind of bring it together. Sometimes we put kashkaval, which is like a different type of cheese, and that kind of binds everything together and creates that crust. But we're just going to do it simple with our yogurt and our egg. So that's what, and you can do this a little bit later on or just have it ready. And you just mix. And a little wine. Yeah, absolutely. You can add wine, whatever drink you're drinking. But we make this nice little mixture. You can put a little salt. And then what you do after that, so after this has all been baking, I'm just going to improvise it and I'll show you what it looks like in the final product. But you just want to kind of put it gently on over the top of it. I'll show you kind of a little bit more. Because you don't want it to like sink into the pie, but I'll show you, or pie or casserole. But you just kind of want it to have this sort of covering on top of it. But this is after 40 minutes. So this is going to be the final stage of the process. And then we will show you. Yep. And then when you do that, you're going to bake it for another 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just so it forms the crust. And then we're going to show you what it's going to look like after it comes out. So after it comes out, you have this beautiful casserole. You see that like nice golden brown crust on top. And if you add cheese to it, it's going to be even more crunchy and flavorful. And then we're just going to plate it. Let me see. Oh, that's another thing. If I don't forget something, I think we got rid of it. Mama, can I have something to cut the, what? Can I have something to cut the moussaka with? There we go, perfect. Thank you. Take this one. We're just going to cut a nice healthy piece. On our plate. And I'll show you. So you see, it just all kind of cooks together. Really juicy. And you can eat this with yogurt or just as is. Add more ingredients if you want to make it bigger and higher. And I like to garnish it with a little parsley on top. And it adds the flavor. Great. So we have our moussaka. If you have any questions, feel free to message me, but this turned out great. And so for next week, we're going to do something a little bit different for the show, and I think we're going to add another pre-made element, but I'll post all of that on social. And thank you guys for joining in. Again, if you have any questions, then yeah, so Samantha, you're going to bake it for about half an hour and then add the mixture on top and then bake it for another 10 minutes so it gets this golden brown fluffy texture on top. And that's it. Thank you guys very much. Forte is again open Tuesday through Saturday from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. We might be changing the hours a little bit later on, but for now we're open for lunch and some dinner as well, and looking forward to seeing you guys. You can make reservations at barforte.com/reservations or just give us a call here at Forte and we will happily create a space for you. Thank you again and see you next week. Bye.